What are the 3 essential things you need to do to help you get a good night's sleep? I don't know about you, but I have had so many clients contacting me recently saying that they are struggling to sleep and they're really struggling with insomnia. And this is particularly common in women and men in their late 40s and in their early 50s. Perhaps they're going through life changes or illness, and sleep seems to be the first thing to go, and it can make you feel really, really rotten. I know I've been through this myself. When we've had some news to process within the family, you just can't get it off your mind, and it's really horrible, and it just gets you so low. So what can we do about it? So I just wanted to share with you the 3 things that I go back to every single time that I get into a bit of a sleep rut, that are scientifically backed, fitness and health focused. And many of my clients, when they tell them this, say to me, oh, I didn't know that. So thank you so much for sharing. And it can make such a big difference. So the first thing is that you need to do some exercise earlier on in the day. So exercise at any time is always great. However, if you can get it in earlier on in the day, at least before midday, but preferably earlier, because this is when your body's cortisol levels, so your stress hormones, are naturally higher. You want your exercise to work with your natural body's rhythms. This is actually a really good tip as well if you get jet lag, so if you've been away. So if you can do your exercise that raises your cortisol levels at a time of day when your body's cortisol levels should naturally be higher, you're working with your body's own natural rhythms, which have perhaps got a little bit out of sync. So what we want to do is kind of resync those rhythms. So exercise raises cortisol levels. So you don't really want to do that late at night if you're struggling with sleep at the moment. You want to do it early on. Now, there's another really practical reason for doing it early on in the day. You're going to be less tired. So get it done early before your willpower wanes towards the end of the day. I mean, no one, if they're struggling with sleep deprivation, wants to go out and do a workout at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, do they? So get it done early. And the other reason is that generally it's going to be lighter earlier in the day, and you want to absorb some of that natural lux in the atmosphere. If you're UK based, you know we struggle with lux. We struggle with light, so you want to get that light in. Again, that's really good for your brain and your body's natural rhythms to try and think, okay, today, now is wakeful time. Later on when it's dark is sleepy time. Number 2 is more about what you eat rather than what you do. And this is a biggie. How much protein are you consuming in your diet? An average UK breakfast tends to be cereal, maybe a piece of toast and a cup of tea. Hands up, my favourite thing in the morning is a nice cup of tea with either my mum's marmalade or my homemade rhubarb and ginger jam. But I will always have some kind of protein with it, not at the same time. Like I wouldn't put a boiled egg on jam, that's just grim. But I would have a boiled egg or some scrambled egg on toast or some smoked salmon. So something that's going to give me protein, but also fats in the morning, because your brain needs protein to synthesize, to make the hormones that help you sleep soundly. So it is so important to have protein, particularly first thing in the morning. If you can get up to 20 to 30 grams in before midday, you're already winning in terms of making sure that your protein levels are high enough to sustain you, and also so that you don't feel hungry when you go to bed, because there's nothing worse, is there, when you're trying to get to sleep and you're like, oh no, but I'm hungry now, I'm going to need to get up. Again, hands up, that happens to me all the time. Protein will help you feel fuller for longer, but it's also really important for your brain chemistry. Number 3 is about your bedtime routine. Now, this I am sure you have heard of before. However, think about a bedtime routine, something quite short, quite simple, that you can sustain and that you can do perhaps even if you're not at home. So your warm shower you have at the end of the night, or a cup of peppermint tea or chamomile tea, or journaling. I love journaling. Literally, I write a paragraph about just processing my day and then 3 good things that have happened to me during the day. And that might be that the sun came out, I saw a little robin, I had a lovely chat with someone. They are my things. They help keep me grounded, they help me to be present, and they help for me to go to bed with more of a positive state of mind, even if I've not had the best of days or there's been some rough news to process. That really helps to keep me grounded. The other thing that you could do is read a book. Again, if your brain is easily stimulated. Just make sure what you're reading is not going to overly stimulate your brain, because again, I've been there when I'm sort of going to bed and I think, oh, what happens next? Da, da, da. So, but the whole point of this is that you have some kind of routine that teaches your brain the signals that now you're starting to wind down, and you want to try and do those consistently. And it goes without saying, you need to switch off the blue light, switch off your screens and the television at least an hour before bed if you are someone who is struggling with sleep. Do those 3 things, and do those 3 things consistently, and I really hope that it will help you towards getting a better night's sleep. Next week, I'm actually going to do a short breathing exercise. So that might be something that you could try to do at the end of the day to help you get sleepy. Good night.